Good morning, guys. Marshall here with today's training. I'm excited to be here because I'm going to be talking to you about a topic here that popped into my head this morning as I was walking, and that's mistakes and your worth and how they fundamentally, they're not related at all. So, if you're new to me, I'm Marshall Burtcher, and I help codependents and survivors of narcissistic relationships break free. I help them heal and rediscover their well-being and happiness again, and then take control of their lives and do the things and have the relationships and experience the things that bring them joy. So before we get started, I need to share this out to the community real quick. If you're looking for a shelter, if you're looking for a place that understands you, a place that's going to support you, a place that's going to have your back, the community is for you. And you can find the link to the community above on Facebook, below on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And thank you for doing that. Today I'm a little off. So let's see. Let's share this out today. And it's going to be... There we go. Okay. There. Boom. All right. So here we go. Come back to here. Good morning, guys. It's nice to see you. So this concept is mistakes in your worth, they aren't related. So I was on my walk this morning. I was reflecting on this pit of anxiety that I had in my stomach today about failure, about mistakes, about what people think when I make a mistake. Like, are my students and clients thinking I'm stupid, or I'm not able to do things right, or that kind of thing. And I caught this in my thinking, and I'm like, wow, whose voice is this? Where's this coming from? And these memories of a little Marshall, just a kid in grade school, being laughed at because he didn't color in the lines, being sternly talked to by teachers because I didn't do what they wanted me to do in the way they wanted me to do it. Being punished, outright punished for making mistakes. Stupid. And I started to feel that sense of fear in my body. It shows up kind of like this intense golf ball in my chest. And it made sense to me all of a sudden that, like, hey, I'm dealing with performance anxiety. I'm dealing with the echo of being shamed for making mistakes, and then having those mistakes appended to my value as a human being. Because it's interesting because we deal with what's called transactional value. That's where we're praised for doing things that make other people happy, and punished when we don't do things when we do things they don't like, or we don't do what they want us to do. This creates this sense of... It's construction outside. Sorry about that. It creates this sense of transactional worth. And if we internalize it, then we become very fearful because we don't know when the next shoe is going to drop. We don't know what they're going to do when we do X. Are they going to do Y? Are they going to do Z? So we move into this really anxious experience with other people's reactions that we feel either powerless to, dependent on, that we love and we would like their acceptance and understanding. So we become trapped in this cycle of pleasing rather than responding to things based on our own awareness, our own intuition, our own feelings. And it's one of those major things that we wrestle with as we exit codependency, is to tune into what we actually feel and advocate for it. So I want to check and see. Okay, there we go. I have this thing that I want to switch. There we go. Okay, now I can see questions. So if you have questions about this or anything, let me know. But so this wrestle of pleasing enters our lives, and we're unable to access ourselves. This is one of the core reasons why you keep going back to toxic narcissistic people. It's because you're bypassing your own discomfort. You're bypassing your own needs, your own well-being. You're bypassing you. And you were conditioned to do that through this transactional model of worth. You were like, well, my feelings are going to get me in trouble. My thoughts are going to get me in trouble. My needs are going to get me in trouble. So I'm going to do what they want. So one, I don't have to deal with trouble, which is scary, especially when it's from very aggressive, abusive people. And two, maybe I'll get some love, because I'm obviously not getting love when I'm doing me. I'm getting love when I please them, when I make them happy. That's when I get love. And that's a problem. And if you're in a relationship right now where you're loved when you do something they want you to do or makes them feel good, but you're punished or ignored or unvalued or discarded when you don't, or when you do what you want to do, you're in a toxic relationship. It's one of those big hallmarks on this. Guys, our mistakes don't define our value. Period. Our value, who we are, has nothing to do with what we do. What we do are skills-based things. These are things we're going to grow in, we're going to advance in, we're going to make mistakes in, we're going to get good at them, we're going to screw up. These don't define our value. Our value is built in. It's intrinsic. I call it innate value. It's this rooted sense of worth that we find within us automatically once we let go of the judgments, the shame, the doubt, the self-hate that we might harbor towards ourselves. When we stop judging and making what we feel wrong, and we start legitimizing what we feel, we start advocating for what we want and what we need, this comes alive real quick. It turns into what I call healthy fight and healthy flight, where we're advocating for ourselves, where we are confronting problems, where we are stepping out against the challenges we're facing. We're confronting people when they step across our boundaries or when they do things that we're not happy with or we're not comfortable with. Yeah, innate value. Safi, yes. Yeah, that's the thing. It's in us. It's part of our DNA. The thing is, we don't automatically access it because we were not programmed to do that. See, healthy people who have a strong, enduring, or a concrete sense of worth were programmed differently than we were based on how they were raised. They were given a reflection back to themselves to access that worth, to honor and follow that worth, and to trust that worth. But when we grow up in systems that require us to be obedient and compliant or fear the other person, then we're not able to accomplish that. Instead, we are stuck in a cycle of pleasing them so that we can survive. So we never receive the reflection and the feedback that connects us back to our value. We only receive the reflection and feedback that tells us that what we are and how we do it is not good. It's bad, it's wrong, it doesn't work. It is a problem that way. And so we internalize that as we're a problem, we're a burden, there's something wrong with us. And that's why we struggle with our sense of worth. And this is how we get out of it, is by retrieving our value from that individual, from that outcome, from that situation, and beginning to harbor it and nurture it within us, that we have value despite our mistakes, despite our successes, and that we're valuable and our feelings are valuable, our needs are valuable, our wants are valuable. Who we are is worth knowing, loving, and keeping. That's the journey out of this. That's the path back to you, back to knowing and understanding and then loving and living who you are. This whole week has been a lot like this. It's just been random interruptions. Maybe it's the moon. I don't know. But yeah, I want you to know that your mistakes don't define your value and they don't define who you are. And if you're in relationships or you're in some sort of dynamic where your mistakes are used against you, they're used to control you, they're used to put you down, they're used to define your value, or someone else is attempting to define you that way, you're in a toxic system. It's time to get out of that, especially intimate relationships. That is a no-no. That's a deal breaker, because that's where there is a violence against your worth. There is an attack against who you are. And then they use this to manipulate and control you to become what they want you to be so they can get what they want from you, rather than connect with you and understand who you are. They want their cookie rather than a connection with you. So guys, that's today's training. I appreciate you. Go out there, explore what it's like to let go of judging yourself based on your successes and your failures and your mistakes. What if mistakes were not significant? Explore that question, and let's discover who you are beyond that. Okay. I appreciate you guys. Remember that you're worth knowing, loving, and keeping, and I'll see you guys in our next training video. Have a great day. Bye-bye.